Okay, hi everyone. So, sorry for a little bit of glitch here. So there were a couple of conversations ongoing, and I was just waiting for that to finish up. So, I would divide this live into a couple of things, and the first aspect which we wish to discuss is to understand the publication aspect of tech in terms of whether you are able to earn a ROI or not, but the basic understanding of filing in terms of protocols, and particularly I'm here talking about like understanding the protocol in terms of an invention, because it takes a lot to be an inventor. I am working on multiple desktop right now, and there's some codes also being run as I speak. So one thing we need to understand and appreciate is most of the folks, whether in the offline world, online world, remote, hybrid, um, different timelines, quantum world, and the jargons which is being talked about by anyone and everyone without even understanding the nuance behind it. First of all, I will just focus on the very basic aspect, and if you have any question related to that, you can put it in the chat box. I'll look into it. However, I want to finish up with what I'm talking about right now, and then perhaps if time permits, because I need to run for another meeting in the offline world, so I'll try to cover as much as possible, and understanding from the point of view, when not if you or your company, your enterprise, in any capacity, you have built or you're trying to build or you are trying to solve a problem, try and align that problem statement with a couple of things. And let me tell you, that will work magic for you, because right now this is a new world order. A lot of stakeholders have realized it. When I talk about stakeholders, operators and all, there is one section of the society which really wants to achieve the sustainable development goals of 2030. So I'll just write it down for you. You can always just put this tagging into any of it in any of these portals. You will get some kind of data. So one of the operator systems says that we need to achieve the sustainable development goals by 2030. In reality, only 17 has been, or in one verse, only 17 has been recognized. That doesn't mean that the others are not important. However, what is important here is, so one part of the operator group of the world, in whatever society you're living in, they are of the opinion to achieve the sustainable development goals. The another section is we can't let them allow to achieve this goal. And third is always a neutral party, which is a kind of a facilitator, a kind of a DAO. You can look into this word. I'm part of it in many aspects, different DAOs and different organizations, which are decentralized autonomous organization, and it's a use case study of blockchain. So one of my papers already has been accepted. It will be published. I'm looking at the timeline of November. And once it's published, I'll share it. It will be available in the online world. Use case study of blockchain is DAO. Now let's take zillion step back and try and understand what is this first filing date. These two are jargon words, but they are as important as it can be. So multiple tabs open. I think I should take it here so that I'm able to reopen it whenever I want to. Okay, great. So one is first filing date, and second is multiple priorities. So in the current situation, for the longest time, most of the countries or most of the stakeholders couldn't appreciate or understand the capitalist way of working around intellectual property rights. Intellectual property rights itself, if I have to talk in very layman words, it's created by I can't say humans or aliens, whatever species you want to tag yourself into, because a lot of stakeholders are calling humans as aliens. Some are talking about the human intellect, somebody is talking about intel, somebody is talking about anything and everything. However, what is important here is when you are trying to understand the quantum world, it's not that you need to have the apparatus and the machines in place for the quantum to work. It is how you relate to that. And to understand that, what is important here is to understand some words or phrases which are very important from the learning point of view, just to upskill yourself to understand and be part of the new world order. So I'm giving this tagging part, new world order. Okay, so first is the first filing date, and second is multiple priorities. Say for example, you or your company, enterprise, in any capacity whatsoever, is in a capacity to, or has, or tends to develop something which is mind-boggling or mind-changing as far as the prior art is concerned. Prior art has nothing to do with the art law. Art law is different. Prior art means what has been done before, when you thought that you have developed whatever you did. But that doesn't mean that, the first filing date is like a stamping of the stamp. No. What is important in the New World Order, and there's a lot of discussion around it, is trade secret. Now, what is this word trade secret? Say for example, let's take a hashtag SS. Now this word, or this 2-letter hash, SS, can stand for, I'll write it down, SS can be stainless, okay, SS can be steel, a form of steel which is known as SS. SS has a lot of grades also, good quality steel in terms of the kind of mixture which is utilized just to make the steel. So when we talk about the circular economy, we need to look into the section. I think the trademark section of 123 is important. Maybe I'll talk about it in a while, but I'll just write it down to understand the word circular and trade aspects. So the word circular economy is, it has to be recycled in some form or the other. So SS in one format is stainless steel. In another format, when I'm talking about the quantum world, it is supersonic. Now, what is supersonic? A lot of folks don't even understand the physics around what physics is all about in terms of the alignment of the waves, which is visible, invisible, and the rays of the spectrum. However, to understand the spectrum from the generative point of view, it is important to first bifurcate first filing date and multiple priorities. There has been, over the years, a lot of commotion in terms of, when we talk about US, the entities who were the major players of the world before the First World Order, they were earning more because of the infringement proceedings and the others before the court of law, and it was a very different process. Now, whether that process can be replicated in the First World Order or the New World Order, or the New World Order, is the question the stakeholders are trying to answer. In my personal capacity, right now I'm not representing any of the organizations or whatever I do in whatever capacity at any given point of time. This, what I'm speaking right now, is coming right from my understanding of what I know in terms of the way I have evolved over 2 decades just to understand the nuances for the generative technologies to work. And particularly from the point of view of IoT, that is Internet of Things. And Internet of Things includes servers, it includes sensors, it includes modules, it includes devices, it includes load of trade secrets. A part of the stuff, when we talk about the New World Order, the biggest, I would say, the biggest change, or I would rather say, if we understand SWOT analysis as strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats, if we change the word threat to trigger, India and China are the biggest superpowers. We like it or not. This is the reality in many ways. And because it is a superpower and they are joining hands, there's a lot of diplomacy happening between these two countries. This can take over everything which exists in the physical world, which is to become the superpower, because the data which is being generated by these countries is, I don't have the right word, it's like quadrillion in terms of the data generated. Yes, but at the same point of time, a lot of data which is being generated is garbage. So it becomes very easy from the point of view of an upskilled candidate to review the data, fortify the data, and work around the data. And this itself is being understood in many ways and not in many ways, because when we talk about blockchain, a part of the blockchain use case study is the cryptocurrency understanding. And this cryptocurrency understanding is just like air. Because these two countries, which is India and China, there's a lot of, I would say, physical cash being hoarded in different ways by different entities over the years after the independence. Let's take the year, because if I have to talk about it in terms of the law making, let's understand the Patent Act of India. Act is kind of a bare act. That was enacted in the year 1970. And if we just on the timeline take the headlines of the year 1970, probably I'll like to take miscellaneous, that is 999. So if I take the 999 events, let's take 999 events from 1970 and just analyze, because this is already a historical data set. I've been very vocal about it that if we really want to do something with the generative technologies, forget about 5G, 6G and all that nuance word, understanding the real data set is very important. I'll give you an example. Perhaps this was actually told to me, but I was part of it when I was hearing it out. So it is not a hearsay, but I was part of those virtual groups where folks were trying to understand where they're coming from when they're talking about India. Because in China, we have provinces. India per se is not province. It's the four-letter word is gully. Gully is it's not gully. Gully is equal to Jalan. Jalan is equal to path. So I'm a polyglot. I can understand and speak multiple languages. So I have that advantage of making the coders understand the real language. So what has happened? The very input data at the first instance, we are going back to, we were in 1970. Now let's come to the year 1991. After 1991, we will come to, oh my gosh, who knew that, in the year 1999, so much is going to happen in terms of what happened. And fortunately, these years are very close to me, and I have watched out for these years as far the data was concerned. And let's understand one thing. When folks are talking about the state they come from, or what is happening right now, or what is the Silicon Valley of India, although in many aspects Bangalore is considered as Silicon Valley, at the same point of time, Kolkata, which is the Salt Lake City, Eden Gardens, cricket, that is a place which was supposed to be the landmark place for the IT sector to boom. And honestly speaking, IT is working from Kolkata. A lot of companies, They have their back office in Kolkata. It is cheaper to stay. People are very intellectually evolved in terms of understanding and solving a problem, because problem solving is not that A plus B is equal to C. Why can't A plus B equal to P? That's how, the questions and the logics are discussed when generative stuff is being created in terms of augmented reality, virtual reality and stuff. And that is why what is more important here is to understand the topic, not the consensus of what the section is talking about or what the law is talking about. The word law, which is a 4-letter word or a 3-letter word, because law can be a 4-letter word, I'm not getting into it. Let's talk about law as a 3-letter word. It is, for me, language of actuating wisdom. And once you are evolved enough to understand that, you will see that everywhere. And in the historical data set itself, it is very, very evident that whenever any major change happened in the offline world, whether the internet was there or not, it was because of the entity or the person, individual, candidate, whatever the word may be, that particular person was a lawyer. Law makes you understand a lot of things which normal folks, civilians, even army people won't understand. But with time, obviously it's a concerted effort. Being a lawyer gives a lot of opportunities to understand the nuance of the orchestration, because that is more important when you are trying to question the status quo. And if you're curious enough, that doesn't mean that everybody has to be a lawyer. I think an engineering bent of mind, it's not that engineer plus law will make you successful. There is no particular mantra to be successful, because even the word success has a lot of nuances. But the point I'm trying to contemplate here is to understand again the first filing date and multiple priorities. So just to create that data set and for your own understanding and put it onto a smart contract, forget what people are saying. Going before the code of law in terms of the time and everything, what is important is to understand what is important to you. And for that orchestration itself, understanding the first filing date and multiple priorities is very important. First filing date, the word itself states that it was the first time you filed it and you're saying, hey, this belongs to me. That is what first filing date means. When you talk about multiple priorities is, if I talk about the Intel part of it, Intel has nothing to do with Intel company. Intel is to do with understanding the research capabilities. And if I have to, so there's something called as PCT, that is Patent Cooperation Treaty, and there's something called as Paris Convention. So in both the cases, perhaps you're performing a research and you want to disclose it, and because you want to disclose it, you want to create that data set of the timestamp. So even after filing the first application, within a time frame of 12 months, so 12 months just take in 1 year, because there are loads of calendars, but just to keep things simple, we follow one calendar. Otherwise, every tribe is having one calendar. I don't say religion, I call it as a tribe. Tribe is like, just to keep that data set very intact, tribes were created in the historical data set. And over time, just to make things simplify, things started, crossing, and that's what crossover and the crossbreeding and all those not so magical and magical terms came into existence. And the legacies have been created over the years. So, understanding of first filing date, multiple priorities, both are beneficial if you're able to put it onto a smart contract, period. No questions asked. How you're able to get your ROI, the simple mantra would be to file before WIPO, that is World Intellectual Property Organization, headquartered in Geneva. Don't file it on your own. You will screw it up. Why I say so? Because there's a lot of cost involved in terms of fiat currency. And because there's a lot of cost involved, wherever there is a lot of physical money or digital money, there is chances of some kind of fraud happening. So you have to go through a channel. So in that case, I can be one of your channels to get it through WIPO. You can look into my profile and see that stuff, what I have done. Please don't ask me the question what I do, because it's very evident. Have real legit recommendations on LinkedIn. So you can just see that. I just wanted to end this part. Okay. So when I talk about it's not cheap, but it's fast and simple. You have an idea, put the idea into a frame, and I would say utilize an expert. An expert can put your idea into words, because as somebody who has been a lexicographer all her life, I mean, for me, RIP is, I did repair in progress. So that's how we are in terms of even, small words. SS can stand be supersonic, it can stand for stainless steel and whatnot. So there's something called as provisional patent filing. Provisional patent filing, if I have to give it, obviously, if we're going with the letters, it's PPA. So it is the written description of the invention. I would say or propose that please include drawings. At least it gives some clarity, because if your English is poor for whatever reasons, you still have your drawings to suffice the data. Then, okay, so there's a column which is applicant column, inventor column. Now, this is debatable. It depends on who all are going to be the applicants and the inventors. There's a filing fee. Every country has their own patent law. It's always beneficial to file in your home country. And then within a year, you can file before WIPO, that is before Geneva, which is part of a UN body, which is part of United States. Not United States, United Nations. There's too many windows in front of me. Okay, anyhow. The second thing is the non-provisional, or something called as complete also in different jurisdictions. Some stakeholders like to call it as specification, some call it application. I particularly like the word body, how to provide the details in the body, in what format, what to keep at trade secret, how much to disclose. And honestly speaking, I'm of the opinion, go for defensive publication. I love that. I think my way of understanding things were different before 2020, but after 1st of April 2020, which is a new world order, I'm of the opinion, do it, but just do it for the sake of being defensive and create all your smart contracts, agreements, everything's so secure that you're able to mitigate the risk, and your sword is always on the strength side. We already talked about international applications. So a lot of stuff, a lot of work has been done around this, but it's just a window. Now, what is the use of a window? So I don't need to explain what a window is all about. So people they should understand what window is all about. Window is just a way, a passage to enter in multiple countries within a particular time frame, anywhere from 26 months to 31 months. Whether you want to file in that country, that's your choice. I would rather, if I'm running an enterprise, the one which I'm inventor of, I have filed in my home country, because my passport address is on the home country. And yes, then I filed a complete. It's published as a defensive publication. So that's how I want to keep it. And whether it's the right strategy, there's no right or wrong. It depends on how you want to play in the new world order. It's a gameplay, how you understand blockchain, because blockchain is understood by so many people in so many different ways right now. There's so much emphasis. One of the blockchain use case studies which is being pushed is the metals in the chemistry, which is the rare earths. Then we have the silver, we have the gold, we have the stainless steel, we have the argons of whatnot. And even if things don't work out, I'm pretty sure they might introduce a new metal in the periodic table, because the other day, not the other day, but a few years back, I was able to revoke a US patent, and very fascinating. I won't name the companies, although my NDA is over with them, but yeah, it's been fun. It's been totally fun. And I honestly, apart from my dry lab research, I want to enter wet lab research because I come with a degree of my first two degrees, proper degrees. One is in food technology, other is in biotech. I'm waiting back to be back in wet lab research because I'm very good with pipetting and all. So I am of the opinion that I'll be able to do magic around working with the biotech stuff I wish to do, because I have loads of hypotheses to be worked upon and I have very good sample data sets with me, which can be utilized to create those miracle drugs or the miracle medicines for the humanity to thrive to the next level. So this is my submission, and thank you for watching this out, and thank you for patiently listening me. And at any point of time, you might be reviewing this. So yeah, you know where to find me, and yeah, we can catch up. Have a great day ahead.